Hello and welcome to Bottoms Down, Chair Yoga for Everyone. I'm Carol. I'm so glad you've joined us today. Check out the sections on the Bottoms Down YouTube channel homepage, which make it easier to find classes by length or by purpose or by body area. And if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. Don't forget it's free and we'd love to hear from you, so leave me a comment. In today's practice, we'll explore poses to reset for the new year. It's a great time to reset our mind and body, breathe into the new year, and get ready for all of its possibilities. You'll only need a chair for today's class. Let's get started. So we're going to come forward in our chair and take a moment to ground our feet to the earth. So thinking about having those feet equally weighted on the floor. And then let's think about our sits bones, the same thing, right? Have them equally weighted on that chair. Bring your attention to your heart center. Let go of everything outside of the room. Close your eyes and connect to that breath. Let's go ahead and elongate that breath, inhaling a little more deeply. Exhaling a little more completely. Bring your hands to your heart. Set your intentions for today's practice. One more breath here. Bring the hands back down to the thighs and open the eyes. We're going to shrug those shoulders up into our ears, and then we're going to let them just fall. Let's do that again. Shrug those shoulders up into the ears. Let them fall. One more time. And let those fall. Very good. We're going to let that right ear just fall towards that right shoulder. That should feel really good. Now you're just going to reach up with that right hand and you're going to lay it lightly on that head, but don't pull it. Just gently lay it there and let the weight of the hand give you a little more stretch. And then we're going to extend that opposite arm out. It's towards the wall beside you, flexing the wrist, pressing through the palm. Let's bring the hand down first. Take the hand off of the head and lift that head up. Oh my goodness, that's such a good stretch. Let's go to the other side. So we're going to let that ear fall towards the shoulder first. So just kind of hang out here, just your natural range of motion. So just feel the stretch, just natural here. Now we're going to reach up with the hand and just lightly place it on the head. Don't pull, don't tug. And then we're going to push that opposite hand out, flexing the wrist, pushing. One more breath. Bring that hand down. Take the hand off of the head and lift that head up. Oh my goodness. How does that feel? Maybe just roll that neck just a little bit. And reverse that roll. Okay. Very, very good. So we're going to move into a cat and a cow pose. So we're going to start, lift up through your chest. Trying to take that chin up just a little bit. Let's take those thumbs to the back wall. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you and lift up through the sternum, right? So super open to heart. Feeling that squeeze of the shoulder blades behind you. Now we're going to round down into cat, okay? So bring those hands down, place them on your thighs, tuck the chin, roll down, look at your belly button. Let's do that again. Open up, thumbs to the back wall, lengthen through, looking up slightly if that feels okay, and round down into that cat pose. Pull that belly button in. Let's do that one more time. Add the breath this time. Inhale into your cow and exhale into your cat. And release. Let's grab a sip of water. Okay, so we're going to move into a warrior two pose. So we're going to come a little bit forward in our chair. You're going to take your right knee and bring it right at a diagonal. So your knee is in alignment with those toes, okay? Then your left leg, you're going to extend it out to the side. Now, preferably, you're up on the side edge of that foot, okay? So instead of having the toes pointed where that leg is this way, you would turn so that you kind of have that internal, you're working the inner and outer thigh, and you're up on that side edge of that foot. Does that make sense? Does that feel okay? All right, kind of get that all set, and then when you're ready, we're going to add our arms. Now, in your warrior two pose, try to pay attention. We don't want those ribs to be forward. We want the ribs to be right in the center of the body, okay? So the head, the neck, and the spine are all in alignment. Now let's activate the upper body. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in those arms. So really activate that upper body. Right arm is going to, palm flips up to the ceiling. We're going to reverse our warrior up and back. There's your side waist. And then we're going to come back to that warrior two. Beautiful. Now from here we're going to move to a side angle pose. So the fleshy part of the right arm is going to rest on the fleshy part of the right leg. The palm is facing up. Let's take the hand that's in the air and place it on our waist and lift your heart. Right? So we're not here. Let's lift that heart so that we're nice and tall. Then if you want to extend that arm again, you can. One more breath here. All right, let's go ahead and release that. Step out of it and take just a moment, okay? So we're going to do the other side, and then we'll add one more thing on to that side angle pose. But let's do the other side first. So here we go. We're going to take that knee and open it wide. So notice that the knee is in alignment with those toes, okay? Other leg extends out. We're on the edge of that foot. Inner and outer thigh is what you should be feeling. Let's add the arms. Making sure those ribs are right in the center of the body. Looking over those left fingertips if that feels okay for your neck. Flip that palm up, and then we're going to reverse our warrior up and back. Let's come back to that warrior two. And then the fleshy part of that left arm is going to go on the fleshy part of the left leg. Palm is facing up. Go ahead and put that hand on the waist, lift your heart, and then if you want to add that arm back in, go for it. Side angle pose. One more breath. Press back to warrior two. And release. Okay. Checking in. How's that feeling? See, the only thing we're going to add, we're going to do that whole series a little bit faster, and then we're going to extend our side angle pose. So I'll show you what to do, and if you don't want to do it, you just hang out in side angle pose. It's great. Here we go. Open up. I'm moving towards the edge of my chair here, and let's extend that leg out. All right, we've done this one before. Warrior two. Let's go ahead and flip that palm up and reverse our warrior. Back to your warrior two into that side angle pose. Okay. Put the hand on the waist, lift that heart up, and extend that arm. Okay, now, the hand that's in the air, I call it bicep by ear. You're going to bring that arm across your body and feel that really good stretch in that side waist. Do you feel it? Let's bring that arm back up. Now, one more thing you can do is you can take this hand now and bring that wrist down by your ankle. You don't have to. It's just an option. But I do want that heart lifted. So if you're bringing this hand down, you can't let the heart sink in order to do that, right? Keep that heart lifted. One more breath. Press back to your warrior two, wherever you are. Let's reverse it one more time. Back to warrior two. And release. Excellent. Okay, other side. Here we go. Get into it first. Yeah, move that warrior two. Let's look over those front fingertips. Flip that palm up, reverse your warrior up and back. Back to that warrior 2 and to side angle pose. Let's extend that side angle pose. Oh, how does that feel? Let's bring that arm back. Then if you want, wrist by ankle. Remember, you can't let the heart sink though. Don't, we sacrifice the integrity of the pose is kind of how I phrase it. And let's come back to that warrior 2. Flip it again. Reverse it again, I should have said. Back to warrior 2 and release. Woo, how does that feel? A little inner thigh work, right? You feel it? Okay, very, very good. So we're going to move into eagle pose, and I'm going to give you 2 options for eagle pose. So the first option is you're going to leave your right leg exactly where it is. You're going to take your left ankle and you're going to cross ankle to ankle, okay? So you want this leg to be in a different position. You see how it's open and externally rotated? That is your eagle legs. And then you're going to cross wrist to wrist, okay? And this is a great eagle pose just right here. And then we're going to release that. And then we're going to go to the other side, okay? So we're going to cross ankle to ankle, wrist to wrist. Shoulders are down out of the ears, belly is tight. One more breath, release that, and put the foot on the floor, okay? So that's great. And if you want to stick with that version, go for it. If you want a little bit more, I'm going to cross this leg over, okay? So this leg does come in just a little bit, and I'm going to cross, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is so this right leg is on top, so my left arm is going to come on top, and I'm just going to hug myself. Oh, yeah, that should feel good. Let's open and do that one more time. And release, unravel those legs. Okay, then let's do the other side. We're going to do both sides one more time. Okay, so now this time my left leg is on top, so my right arm will go on top. It doesn't really matter, but technically that's it. Let's open it up and let's do that one more time. And open. Okay. Last time. Here we go. Hug yourself. And open. And hug yourself again. Oh, right. And other side. We got this. Feel really good. And open. Last time. And release. All right. Really, really good work. So we're going to move into a crescent lunge with a pyramid pose. And as always, we'll be adding, and you don't ever have to add on. So please, please, please know that. So here we go. We're going to take that right knee and we're going to open it nice and wide. We're going to let this knee fall down towards the floor. Push that foot back. If that feels okay for you, bring your hands to heart. And here we are in a lovely crescent lunge. Okay? Now, let's add those goalpost arms. So we're going to bend at the elbows, and I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades behind me, and I'm going to look up just a little bit. Okay, let's release that. Go ahead and release that knee, and let's do that one more time. Here we go. All right, now maintain your crescent lunge, fingertips to the ceiling. Going to windmill and look at me. We're going to come up and we're going to windmill and look the other way. We're going to come up, goalpost arms, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you, look up, and release. Okay, so before we add on, we're going to go to the other side. Okay, so let's do that. Let's get the feeling of it. It's just a little bit of muscle memory before we begin to build into it, and I think that helps. So we're going to let that knee fall down towards the mat. Push your foot back behind you. Crescent lunge, right? Hands to heart, facing forward. Okay, here we go. Goalpost arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades back behind you. Now take those fingertips to the ceiling and we're going to windmill and face me. Windmill those arms back to the ceiling and open up and face the back of your chair. All the way back up to the ceiling. Bring those arms back to goalpost. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. One more breath and release. Okay. Checking in, how does that feel? So what we're going to add on is we're going to slip our hips off of the chair. So you'll be doing your crescent lunge without the support of the chair under your hips, only if you want to, okay? And then we're going to move into a pyramid pose while our hips are off the chair. So we'll see how we feel about that one. Okay, here we go. Open it up. Let this knee fall down. Get into that not pyramid pose. Get into your crescent lunge. Now, if you'll notice, I'm kind of moving towards the edge of my chair. Now, I want you to go ahead and hold the chair. Slip your hips off and see how that feels first. Okay? Checking in, making sure this knee is behind those front toes. Making sure your heart stays lifted. Does it feel okay to let go of the chair and bring your hands to heart? Pull that belly in. Remember, your abdominals help you with balance. Okay, are we ready? We're going to do windmill arms. Fingertips to the ceiling. Let's windmill and face me. There's balance. You feel it? Yeah? All right, down and around, back to the ceiling, and we're going to windmill the other way. Bring that arm down and around, back to the ceiling, goalpost arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. All right, now listen. Go ahead and place your hand on the mat, on the chair. Let's straighten that front leg and see if you can let your heart fall forward into a pyramid pose, a standing pyramid pose. One more breath. Come back up, bend that front knee again, and let's just slip our hips back onto that chair and face forward. How did that feel? Just some add-ons, right? We're going to do the other side. Remember, you've got options. Here we go. Open it up. Come into that crescent lunge first. You'll notice again, I'm really moving to the edge of my chair as I get into that crescent lunge. I've got my hand right here. Let's go ahead and slip those hips off and see how that feels. Hold on to that chair. Okay, are we ready? Let's bring our hands to heart. Remember, that front knee stays bent, the heart stays lifted. Okay, fingertips to the ceiling. You're going to windmill and face me. There's your balance. A lot of balance work, belly tight. Bring the hands down and around, back to the ceiling, windmill, and look over the back of your chair. Down and around, back up to the ceiling, goalpost arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you, looking up. One more breath here. Go ahead and put a hand on that chair. Straighten that front leg and let your heart fall into pyramid pose. Lift your heart up, bend that front knee, slip your hips back onto the chair and face forward. You guys did great. All right, let's grab a sip of water. So we're going to come to standing. And what I want to make sure is that your chair is either on carpet or on a mat. Something where it isn't going to be able to slide out from under you, okay? I would still want you to concentrate on keeping your weight down, pressing down into the chair and not out and away from the chair like it's just going to slide out from under you. But I still encourage you to make sure the chair is on carpet or a mat to help with that, okay? All right, so again, we're going to be building into these poses, and there's quite a bit here, so you just do what works for you, and I'm going to give you options, okay? But I will be demonstrating the full expressions of the poses, so you can do that if you so desire. Okay, we're going to start with the side plank series. So in order to do a side plank, we're going to start with plank, and we're going to start with one of our feet on the mat and the other one extended out. So let's go ahead and take a little step back from our chair. We're going to hinge in, okay? We're going to place our wrist in the chair and bring our weight forward, all right? You got that? Good. Now, I want you to go ahead. The leg that's next to the chair, the foot that's next to the back of the chair, that's the one I want you to take a little step forward. And that's going to give us a little bit of support, okay? Now, we're going to bend our elbows and come down into that. Our forearms are on the chair. This outside leg is going to step back. And now we're in a supported forearm plank. Okay, do you feel that? Does that make sense? Now, you're going to keep this foot here if you want to, but if you want to try and see how it feels, we're going to extend this leg back and we're going to be in a full forearm plank. Do you feel that? Belly tight. All right, keep those abdominals really engaged. See if you can look down at your chair. Just hold it and breathe. My hands are light, right? I'm not gripping that chair. One more breath. Bring that left foot up again. All right? Let's bring that other foot up and roll up and take a little break. Okay, how did that feel? Okay, so now what we're going to do is that same kind of series, but in a side plank. So we'll start with that foot forward. We'll twist into our side plank, and then we'll see how it feels with both legs extended. I know, it's exciting. Here we go. Let's go ahead and hinge forward. We're going to put our palms in the chair first. Remember, bring your weight forward. Now let's go ahead and bend those elbows coming down into that forearm. Okay, step that foot back to start with. Remember, you really want the foot next to the back of the chair is the one in front. So your left foot is in front. That's really quite important for this side plank series. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my right arm off the chair and I'm going to open up into a side plank. Now, I'm holding onto that chair for support. This back foot is turned, so on that back edge of that foot, this knee is facing forward. I've got some weight here on that front leg, and here I am in a nice side plank. Do you feel that side waist working hard, belly tight? Okay, let's go ahead and come back. Place that hand on the mat. Now, hand on the mat. You can tell I teach a lot of mat yoga. Hand in the chair. Okay, so actually, let's go ahead and come up and just take a little break. Now, in order to get into our full side plank, we're going to go into plank first. Both legs are going to extend. Then we're going to turn into side plank. Remember, keep this other foot on the floor if you want to have that. You don't have to extend both legs. Okay, are we ready? Here we go. Hinging forward, hands on the chair, weight is forward, come into those forearms. Keep that. We're going to step back first with that right leg. Okay, are we ready? Let's go ahead and step back with that left. Make sure your weight is pressing down on that chair, not out. Okay, are we ready? Now we're going to turn. Here we are in a full side plank. Belly tight, right? Hanging out. We're breathing. One more breath. Go ahead and turn back around to plank. Left foot steps forward and roll it up. How did you do? Okay, great. We have to do the other side now. So let's come to the other side of our chair. So you kind of have a little bit of a lay of the land, don't you? So you know where we're headed. And you can pick and choose what works for you. So we'll probably go through this one a little faster. We'll stop and we'll take our time, but you kind of know where we're headed, so we don't have to do it quite as slowly. Okay, we're going to hinge forward. Place your hands in the chair. Bring your weight forward. Come onto those forearms. Now, this right leg is the one next to the back of the chair. It's going to step forward as I push that other foot back, and here I am in a plank pose. Pull that belly in, right? Okay, are we ready? Do we want to do the full plank? Your choice. Do it if you want. Making sure your hands are not gripping that chair, right? Weight is in the forearms. One more breath. Bring that foot forward. Bring the other foot forward, and let's roll it up and take a little break. Okay? All right. Are we ready for side plank? Let's do it. Here we go. We're going to hinge forward. Hands in the chair. Weight comes forward. Come down into those forearms. Step that left leg back. Okay, are we ready? Let's do it with the foot on the floor first. Let's open it up into that side plank. One more breath here. Down we go. Okay, are we ready? We're going to do it. Here we go. Press that other foot back. Here we are in plank. Remember, did you see how I just brought my weight forward? We want that weight to be on the forearms. Okay, are we ready? Here we go. We're going to turn into side plank. We just have one more breath. Come back center. Foot up. Other foot up. Roll it up nice and slow. How did that feel? That feel pretty good? All right, let's come to the other side of our chair. Now, yet again, this particular series, you want to make sure that that chair is on carpet or a mat so that it doesn't slide. Okay, so I'm facing my chair. The leg, again, next to the back of the chair, that's the foot I'm going to set up into the chair. Okay? Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to push my weight forward. My hips are coming forward, and I want to make sure my knee doesn't come in front of those toes, all right? So I'm going to actually make a little bit of an adjustment. So I'm going to bring this foot back down, and I'm going to take a half a step back. Now I'm going to put that foot back up in the chair. Now as I come forward, my knee is behind my toes. You see what I did there? So we're pushing our hips forward. So this is like a crescent lunge with my foot up in the chair. Hold on to the back of the chair. This is not balanced, so don't worry about that. Hold on to the chair. Okay, now I'm going to come into a pyramid pose. So I'm going to lengthen that front leg, straighten it, toes come up to the ceiling, and I'm going to let my heart fall forward. Keeping the back flat. So a nice pyramid pose with my foot up in the chair. It's just different, right? It feels a little bit different. Let's do that again. Come forward into that crescent lunge. If you've taken any of my classes before, we tend to do crescent lunge and pyramid pose pretty much every time. But they're just muscles we all need to work. Hip flexor and hamstrings, right? We all need to lengthen those muscles if we can. Let's go ahead and come back into that pyramid pose one more time. Remember, keep the back flat. So this is not nose to knee. This is heart to thigh. One more breath. Come up. Let's take that foot down and come to the other side. All right. So again, my leg that's next to the back of the chair, that's the one that's coming up into the chair. And I just came back just a little bit with that foot. I forgot to do that again, didn't I? All right, let's press forward, making sure that our knee stays behind those toes, pushing those hips forward. There's a nice crescent lunge, front side of that leg. Hold on to that chair, belly tight. Let's come up into that pyramid pose, toes to the ceiling, heart falls forward, keep the back flat. Okay, let's do that again. You got this, and back. You see what I mean about having the chair though on the carpet? We don't want that chair slipping out. And release. Very, very good. Okay, we're going to stay on this side of our chair. The leg that's next to the back of the chair is going to go, that foot is just going to sit right under the chair so that when you bend your knee, that knee or shin touches the chair, okay? Now, this other leg is going to step back. Hips are going to be forward. And we're going to move into a warrior one, belly tight. Bend that front knee, lengthen through that tailbone. All right, we're going to take a deep breath in, and then on an exhale, you're going to windmill to that warrior two facing me. Beautiful. We're going to straighten that front leg. Now we're moving into triangle. So really the upper body and the lower body are separate at this point. So the upper body is going to press forward towards that chair, towards the chair, towards the chair, and then you're going to let that hand fall down into the chair as you open your heart. There's a beautiful triangle pose. All right, are we ready? We'll spin that front knee. We're going to come back into that warrior two. Let's go ahead and flip that palm up and back. Back to warrior two. And release. Good job. Let's go to the other side. All right, so we're going to start in our warrior one. So remember, the foot that's next to the back of the chair, that's the one that goes under, so that when you bend your knee, you can kind of touch, okay? Let's step back with that other leg, hips are forward, bend that knee, bring your hands to heart, okay? You got it? Okay. Lengthening through the tailbone, really trying to get your hips facing towards the chair. Bring your hands to heart. Take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, our hands are going to go up to the ceiling. Inhale here, and on an exhale, we're going to move to warrior two. You're facing me. Beautiful. Everything is in alignment, right? The heart, everything's right in the center. Okay, we're going to straighten this front leg. We're going to let everything come over. The upper body is coming over the chair. The upper body is coming over the chair, and it's coming over the chair. It just won't go any further. And then you're going to let that hand fall down into the chair as you open. So one thing I will tell you, this front hip glute area, if you can relax it, get those hips around a little bit more, you should be really feeling that inner thigh stretching. One more breath. We're going to bend that front knee and press back up. One more breath. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in those arms and release. Good work. Okay, let's have a seat and grab a sip of water. So we're going to come forward in our chair and clasp your hands behind your back. Now, if that doesn't feel good, you can just grab the back of your chair. It's fine, okay? But I want you to really feel like you're lifting up through the heart, squeezing your shoulder blades behind. Now, we're just going to take our nose and begin to make little bitty tiny circles in one direction. Doesn't matter which direction, but just pay attention because we'll switch it. Now, we're going to begin to make those circles a little bit bigger. And a little bit bigger. And pretty big. All right, let's go ahead and start tightening that coil back up. A little bit smaller circles. A little bit smaller circles. Tiny, tiny circles. And stop. Okay, let's reverse it. Little circles first. And then we're going to make a little bit bigger. Keep on making them bigger, right? Just opening up that coil. Now we've got a pretty big circle going, and let's begin to tighten that coil up a little bit, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, until we've got that tiny, 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 tiny circle, and release. Really, really good. Okay, we're going to do a chin to chest neck stretch. So we're going to place the palms of our hands in our lap. Extend your thumbs out. And so that one palm is stacked on top of the other. We're going to bring those palms up. We're going to place them right here at the back of our head. Bring your elbows in. And then you're just going to use your thumbs to give the back of the neck a little massage. So I'm just rubbing the back of my neck a little bit with those thumbs. All right, now we're going to bring those elbows even closer and then look down at your lap. So it's just a gentle stretch here. I don't want you pulling on the neck. You're letting the weight of your elbows and gravity is what's actually giving you the stretch. Just one more breath. Go ahead and come up, bring those elbows up to the ceiling. And let's just do that one more time. Are we ready? Here we go. Last time. Just a little bit of a stretch here for the back of the neck. The elbows are to the floor. Letting gravity do the work. We're not pulling on it. One more breath. Go ahead and bring those elbows up and release. And then just kind of move around a little bit. Just a little free form. Woo! I feel that one. I don't know about you, but boy, that one gets me. It feels good. Okay, we're going to do some elbow circles. So I'm just simply going to take the palms of my hands and place them up on my shoulders. Now, bring your elbows upwards and then in together. All right? Now, we're going to take those elbows up to the ceiling. Then we're going to take them wide. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades behind you and then down to the floor. Let's do that again. Up we go. Kiss those elbows together. Send them up to the ceiling. Bring them back behind you and down to the floor. Now just hold on right here so your elbows are kind of pulling down on the tops of those shoulders. Do a head nod yes. And then a no. And then a yes. Now we're going to reverse that circle. So we're going to go back first. Then we're going to go up to the ceiling. Then we're going to touch them together. And then down. And let's do that again. Open. Squeeze behind you. Up to the ceiling. Kiss those elbows together in front. And down we go. And do a head nod yes. And a no. A yes. And release. Good. All right. We're going to move into staff pose. So let's move back just a little bit. I don't want you leaning back, but I don't want you to be right at the edge of the chair either. Feet are nice and grounded to the mat. Sits bones are grounded to the chair. We're going to place our hands right under our arms. And I want you to lift up through the chest. So the sternum is lifted, the shoulders are down, the crown of the head is towards the ceiling. Now, as you release, you're pulling up. As you release this, you're going to put your fingertips on the chair, but I want you to maintain that lifted sternum. Does that make sense? Is your belly tight? Are you lifting up through that staff pose? One more breath here. And release. Very, very good. Okay, so we're going to move into a seated twist. Your left hand is going to come on the outside of that opposite knee. Your other hand will come to the back of the chair. I want you to lift up nice and tall through the spine, and then you're going to turn. Pull this shoulder back. Turn and look over that shoulder. One more breath. Go ahead and face forward. Let's do the other side. So here we go. We're going to bring that hand out. Other hand back on the chair. Lengthen through the spine first. Pull that shoulder back. Turn and look. One more breath. And face forward. Okay, we're going to add one more thing on. So I'm going to cross my left leg over my right. Okay, so now my right hand is going to go on the outside of that top leg. Other hand back behind. Extend, pull the shoulder back, and turn and look. So it's just a gentle twist here, but if you want a little bit more, you can press this hand against that thigh and give yourself just a little additional twist. Let's release it and let's take that leg down and go to the other side. This hand is going to come to the outside of the thigh, opposite hand back, extend, pull that shoulder back, turn and look. Hold and breathe. One more breath here and release. Very good. Okay, let's take that right leg and extend it out in front of us, toes to the ceiling for pyramid pose. Lengthen through the spine. Let your heart fall forward, breathing into the stretch. Let's go ahead and roll back up to a seated. Do that again. Extend and hinge. Nice. Back side of that front leg. And roll it up. Okay, let's do the other side. Extending that other leg long, toes to the ceiling, lengthen through the spine. Let that heart fall forward. I'm actually holding onto my thighs a little bit to give myself some support. Feel free to do that if you want. Roll it up, and let's do that again. Lengthen through the spine, shoulders stay down, belly stays tight. Let the heart fall forward, breathing. And roll it up. Really good. Okay, pigeon pose. So you've got options. You can cross ankle to ankle if that feels better for you, or you can go ahead and place that ankle in front of the knee. All right. So here we are in a seated pigeon, and this might feel really, really good for you. If you want a little bit more, you're going to lengthen through the spine and begin to let that heart fall forward, keeping the back flat. Should feel good. All right, let's go ahead and lift up, and we're going to do that one more time, just like that. Lengthen and hinge. If you want, you don't have to do this part, right? You can just hang out. Just seated pigeon. You don't need to let the heart fall forward if that doesn't feel good for you. All right, are we going to do the other side? Here we go. Remember, it can be ankle to ankle if that feels better for you, or it can be ankle to knee. We're going to lengthen first, and then just let that heart fall forward. Okay, go ahead and come up and do it one more time. That's your exhale as you move into that movement, and then just breathe. One more breath. Excellent work. All right, let's go ahead and sit back in our chair. Shoulders are down. You can lean back if you wish. Flip those palms up to the ceiling. Close your eyes and just breathe.
Multiply the goodness. Are your skills being regularly tightened and lubricated by challenge and purpose? Or are they falling prey to rust and decay through neglect and complacence? Are your resources being renewed and increased in relevance because they're being put to good use? Or are they sitting in some forgotten warehouse, gathering dust and obsolescence? What about your relationships, your knowledge, the places you love, the experience you treasure? Have you grown complacent about them, or are you constantly finding new ways to breathe more life into them? The good things in your life lose their value when you hoard them, neglect them, or hide them away. To maintain and increase their value, share them and make beneficial use of them. Open up the full value of all you have by infusing it with the power of purpose, effort, and attention. Multiply the goodness in your life by doing good things with it every day. Give full respect and appreciation to all you are, all you have, and all you can be. Make use of it all and make it all even better.
Let's go ahead and open our eyes. Drop that right ear to the right shoulder. Reach up with the right hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that left hand down towards the floor. Release it. Drop your chin towards the chest. Reach up with the hands. Give the head a gentle tug. Release it. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Reach up with your left hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that right hand down towards the floor. Release it. Look up just slightly. Open your mouth if you want to stretch your jaw. Bring your hands to your heart. Honoring one another, we say Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate it. Remember, click on that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.